This is Audible.
Neuro-linguistic programming. Read people and think positively and successfully using NLP to kill negativity, procrastination, fear and phobias, body language, positive psychology, productivity. Written by Adam Hunter. Narrated by Tim Edwards. Chapter 1. What is NLP? In this chapter, you will learn about the origins and the history of neuro-linguistic programming. Inception. Frank Pruselic, John Grinder, and Richard Bandler conducted studies on 3 therapists, and this led to the inception of neuro-linguistic programming. They referred to it as a behavioral model at the time. It all began when Richard Bandler met Frank Pruselic. Frank had returned from the Vietnam War and was quite traumatized by all that he had gone through. He found a friend in Richard Bandler. Bandler was a warehouse assistant at Bob Spitzer's publishing company, Science and Behavioral Books. As their friendship blossomed, Bandler and Pruselic decided to help each other rebuild their lives by copying the approaches mentioned in the transcripts and tapes of Bob Spitzer, most notably known for those Fritz Perls, the founder of Gestalt therapy. Initially, their only aim was to improve their own lives, and they did not do it for any theoretical reasons. The two of them started to practice Gestalt therapy with a group at the University of California. After a while, they were joined by a young linguistics professor named John Grinder. He approached them with a couple of his observations and questions that marked the beginning of a long and successful relationship between these three that led to the birth of the modern-day topic of neuro-linguistic programming. When they started to work together, they began using their collective skills and creativity to analyze and model the works of other people, like Fritz Perls and Virginia Satir, who is also known as the mother of family therapy. They studied the rate of success of these two therapists and wanted to emulate their studies by understanding the reasons for their success. They were introduced later on to Gregory Bateson, who introduced them to the works of Milton Erickson, a psychiatrist who specialized in mental hypnosis and family therapy. Expansion of the development team. Once the ideas and insights started to flow, the core team was interested in trying them on others. This led to the expansion of the team as other friends joined them and helped them develop their work. Some of them were David Gordon, Robert Dilts, Judith Delosier, and Leslie Cameron. There were many others who joined them subsequently, and this highly creative group developed NLP. Most of the methods that were developed during this phase are still a part of NLP training programs. Some of these techniques are anchoring, calibration, reframing, sensory acuity, and representational systems. A couple of other personal change methods, like the Change Personal History and New Behavioral Generator, are still practiced. NLP and Tony Robbins. Business guru Tony Robbins certainly seems to know it all. Tony Robbins achieved all the success that he did in his life with the help of NLP. In fact, NLP transformed his life. Robbins believes that knowledge isn't power, but it is merely a source of potential power. Whenever you read something inspirational, have a rather brilliant idea, or come across some life advice and tend to feel inspired and you vow to change your ways, the reality is quite different, isn't it? The inspiring moment passes you by and you don't do anything to follow through with it, and it makes you feel frustrated. Therefore, it is not about what you know, but how you execute it that makes all the difference in life. We are all usually conditioned to listen in a passive state. For instance, we might sit at a desk looking at a laptop, stretch out on the couch reading a book. Passive learning certainly doesn't inspire any action. Robbins recognized this pattern and decided to change it. He understood that the only way in which he can break this pattern is to use the information and act on it. The one thing that differentiates him from others is that he always follows through. Robbins had a rough childhood, and whatever he achieved in life, it was due to his determination and hard work. Success can mean different things to different people, But there is one equation that everyone can use to achieve the success that they want. The first step is to understand your purpose. Once you understand your purpose, you need to adopt the right mindset to stick to your goal. Robbins insists that you need to focus on the things that you want and not what you don't want, since energy follows focus. It is essentially the law of attraction. Once you adopt a positive mindset, the next step is to take action. You need to consciously work towards your goal. If you want to be successful, you need to work towards your goal, and you also need to check your progresses along the way. Assess your progress and proceed accordingly. If you can change your approach towards how you deal with life and the problems you face, achieving success does become simpler. These are the simple steps that Robbins followed which made him successful in life. Books, workshops, and more. The first publication on this subject was a 2-volume book, Structure of Magic 1 and 2. This book is considered to be one of the most difficult books to read about NLP because it is highly theoretical in nature. During 1973 to 1976, when the group's creativity was at its peak, they developed new ideas and techniques, experimented with the concepts they already knew, conducted workshops, and wrote their first books, The Structure of Magic 1 and 2. They also published Patterns of Hypnotic Techniques by Milton H. Erickson, M.D., Volume 1 in 1975. Focusing on Erickson's use of language, their initial model. Apart from this, they also released Erickson's Volume 2 in 1977. John O. Stevens transcribed and edited the tapes from the earlier workshops and published them under the title Frogs into Princes in 1979. Just like most books on NLP at the time, the book also focused on therapists who wanted to help their patients. These books challenged the traditional way of thinking and offered practical alternatives. These books successfully convinced several therapists to try NLP. Bandler and Grinder continued to organize workshops about NLP throughout the 70s, and towards the late 70s, they had become so popular that their workshops were always packed. The commercialization of NLP. The creativity and excitement about NLP inspired a lot of people during the 70s, but this excitement was quickly overshadowed in the 80s. People started to care more about commercial issues, and there was a lot of debate about who was doing it right and who owned it. During this time, Grinder and Bandler parted ways, and there is said to be some bitterness between them. They worked on developing their own ideas of NLP from that point on, and soon NLP became a way to gain power over one's life as well as that of others. It was no longer a simple route to self-discovery, but was considered to be a product that could be marketed to people who wanted quick results. The current state of NLP. At present, there is no one particular type of NLP. After Bandler and Grinder parted ways, different NLP camps emerged. The two obvious camps consisted of supporters of Grinder and Bandler. But this was just the beginning. Soon, there were Tony Robbins camps and Leslie Cameron Bandler camps, and many others followed suit. NLP was coming of age, and all this diversity reflected its growth. NLP is more of a movement than an ideology these days. It refers to a body of ideas and knowledge that are constantly developing and diversifying. It is a wonderful and creative concept, and one person cannot claim ownership of it. NLP is a personal concept that everyone individualizes to suit their needs. Uses of NLP. You can use NLP in your personal and professional life. Personal life. Communication helps you to express your feelings and is an extremely important aspect of any relationship. You can learn to avoid unnecessary fights or misunderstandings so that you can have some peace of mind. Not just that, positive communication will bring you closer together as family and will help you lead a better life. NLP will teach you to value yourself. Perception of yourself plays a critical role in how you respond to things. Usually, people tend to be a little hard on themselves. If you want success, then you need to love and accept yourself. You need to accept your thought process and learn to evaluate it as well. You must not beat yourself up for the negative aspects and must instead work to change them. NLP will bring about an overall change that is quite positive. It will help create an ideal relationship between you and your family members that is devoid of all unnecessary tensions. The rapport that you share with those you love will help strengthen your self-confidence. Professional life. Professionally, you can attain a lot of benefits by implementing NLP. For starters, it's a good technique that you can use for solving problems. One of the most important tasks that you'll be faced with in any professional setting is solving problems. In fact, if you can effectively solve problems, it is your chance to shine and get noticed. You might be able to impress your boss and even get a promotion. To do this, you need to know how to use NLP to solve problems effectively. Communication is critical, and you need to communicate effectively with your colleagues and coworkers, listening to their feedback before you can decide on a solution. With NLP, you will be easily able to manage different people in your office. Personnel management can be cumbersome, but it is an important aspect of your professional life. If you want to be successful at work, then you need to be able to successfully manage people and make sure that everyone is on the same page. NLP will teach you to be patient and lead the way. You will find it rather easy not just listen to everyone, but to make others listen to you as well. Leadership skills are important, especially if you wish to see yourself progress. NLP will teach you the necessary leadership skills to move ahead in life. You will be able to take the right action at the right time and make others follow it as well. Apart from this, your ability to communicate effectively with others and your team will help you become invincible at work. Once you program your brain to work efficiently and remove all obstacles, then you will be able to achieve your targets rather easily. Social life. You can use NLP in your social life as well. NLP helps with networking. Once you know how to read someone else's body language, verbal cues, and nonverbal cues, you can communicate effectively. Effective communication is the easiest way to network with others. NLP will help you make new friends and will also hold on to the ones you already have. NLP will help you to increase your social responsibility. As you know, it is important for you to give back to society. You can contribute in any which way you like as long as you think it will help you establish a positive impact. Again, it is not limited to just these beliefs. You will learn about the many other uses of NLP.